All right, everyone, welcome to another video. This video is going to be a little different. We're going to be talking about how to use your terminal. We're going to be talking about how to use Git a little bit and so on. Okay. So right now, I'm just going to be going through this little text notes that I made. I do apologize, it's super ugly, but I want it to be fast and direct as possible. So right now, I am in a folder called code. Okay. And in this folder called code, I have many directories. I have some Java code here, and you have been working on basics, so 01 basics, and I have a folder called PQ videos and all these jazz and so forth. And really, I'm just going to show you very simple terminal commands that you can use every day to help you out on your programming journey right now. First thing I'm going to show you is this. All right, I have an example of code here. I can show you what that looks like. It's just going to print, hey class. Right, it's an example of Python code. And it's found within my code. Okay, and I can actually go ls and type that into my terminal, and it's going to be right there. I have a Python code on it in my code directory. And if I wanted to execute that code, I'm not going to click the run button. I'm just going to tell the Python program that is installed into my system so that I can tell it to run a Python program that I wrote by writing Python example.py. And for Mac users, okay, you might have Python 2.7 installed. So if you have installed Python 3 onwards, you might have to type in Python 3. Anyways, after I wrote that, right, where you write the word Python, to run the Python program to read a Python script called example py in this case, and I press enter, and it's going to execute the print of a string message, hello class. So that's how you would execute a Python code in VS Code. All right, and we just learned what ls does. What ls does is lists all the files in your current directory. So in my current directory of code, I had folder 01 basic check-in and Java. As you can see, they were directories. So you can see the D up here, and here I have a Python file. So we have a Python file like that. I don't think we really need to get into any details like this here, but that's what you can do. Cool. All right, if you ever want to make a directory from your terminal, you don't have to. You can always just right click and make a new folder here. But if you wanted to, you can, use the code make directory or mkdir, create a directory name if you want, and you can create a directory like that. So if I were to write mkdir poop, you'll notice in my code here, now I have an empty directory called poop, and I don't need that anymore. So I'm just gonna delete that and move that to the recycling bin. You can also clear to clear all this, and there you go. Boom, you cleared your terminal screen. So let's just write that here. Clear clears your terminal screen. Okay, now one thing that's really useful is these two, right? CD, a directory name or a path name if you really wanted to, and CD, double period. So if I were to go CD, and I'm going to go into my 01 basics, and if I really wanted to go all the way to videos where I have all my video Python files, I can go videos and actually just give a path. And if you notice, we're in code in the inner directory of basics, and we're in videos. So if I were to do ls now, I get to see all my Python code from video 2 to video 13. Sweet. Now you're like, oh crap, I'm in this inner folder now. I want to go back. You can do cd, and that goes back by 1 by doing cd space period. That goes back to your previous directory. And if I can run that again, I am now at the starting point of being at my code directory. Okay, at any point you're working on your terminal and you want to run a command again, you can always click the up arrows to see your past history of stuff that you wanted to do. Okay, so you can always press up like that and press down to go backwards. Sweet. That is a how to use your terminal in a nutshell. Okay, now we're gonna get into our Git and we're gonna see some stuff. Okay, so first and foremost, I'm hoping at this point you have Git installed. If you don't know how to do that, you can always ask me, right? When you do have Git installed on your terminal, you do want to run git config and set your username and set your email. This is not logging into anything, but it will keep track of who is making changes on your code, which will be you. And when you start working on some Git related, when you start doing version control for your files. Okay, but right now your current workflow should start like this, and then we're going to talk about branching in another video, which helps you do more of experimentations on your code without actually screwing up your original code. Okay, so first and foremost, you can always use git version just like this to see if it's working. So if you have that or some variation of that popping out, that means you have Git properly installed on your computer. Next, what you can do is also get status anytime you're working on something. If you get this fatal message, that means that you're not working on a Git repository, so you're not doing any version control. But if you do have or working on a Git repository, you shouldn't see a fatal message. So first and foremost, really what you want to do is you want to create a GitHub repository. Okay, you can create many. You can have one gigantic one where you put multiple files or directories inside. That is up to you. So what I've done is I just created a ICS4U 2023F repository on my GitHub. And what I'm going to do is copy this clone code. So basically, this is a link that has this repository, and I want to clone that. I want to make a copy of this repository onto my local system, and then I'm going to make changes and run some code on it and save some code. And once I like those code that I've created in my local repository, I'm going to upload it into this global main GitHub repository. Okay, so that's going to be our goal. Okay, so on the folder where I want to create the subdirectory of the repository that I'm cloning, I'm going to type out git clone and give the web address of where that git repository is coming from. So I'm just going to run that code. It's going to say it's cloning. It's going to do some remote work and receive objects, and boom, on my code directory, I have the ICS4U. And it's going to have the license file and the README file that came from the Git repository from our GitHub. Okay. And what I'm going to do is just say create a new file, and we're going to say hello git.py, and this is going to be our sample code to upload to GitHub. Right. And then we're going to just write print hello GitHub. Right. This is our Python code. I'm going to save that. Now at this moment, I'm just going to show you, I'm going to go into that directory that we're working on. So we're going to have 2023F. And then if I were to do git status now, we're not going to get a fatal message, but we're going to get what's happening. We're on branch main, so we're working on the main branch. So anything we change is going to affect the changes that we upload onto GitHub. Right, so we're working on this branch right now, but we haven't tracked that file. Yes, we have some changes, but we're not tracking it. So Git is ignoring what's happening, even though there's a new file you created. But you like this file. We like this file, so we do want to upload it at one point. So what we're going to do is run, when you're finished working, we're going to do a git add. We want to add that file. All right, so we're going to go hello git py, because I like that. And then let's say we are completely done working on that file for today. So you're going to commit your changes. So we can say git commit m made a little Python program. You always want to write it in this message so that it has context for all the commits that you made. Okay, so we can even do git log to see that, hey, we made a little Python program to say that, it'll have that little context message for the commits that you made. After you have committed and you're really good with this and you want to push this change to the cloud, you just have to run git push, and it's going to run some code. Sometimes this will make you log into GitHub as well to make sure that you are connected and you are legit the owner of this repository and whatnot. And you'll run into those problems as you work. If you have any questions about that, please let me know. But this is your basic rundown of GitHub and how to use Git to do your problems and whatnot, and really upload stuff from your own machine to GitHub. As always, thank you for watching, and stay classy. Stay tuned for the branching video.